Hello everyone, welcome to Module 4. This module is dedicated to the practical aspects of documentation. We will address issues such as documentation methods, their integration into practice, the tools supporting documentation, and the ethical aspects to consider in its preparation. This presentation will focus on methods of documentation. Observing children can be both a nuanced and extensive process. To streamline and guide this endeavor, various tools are available to offer support. In this module, we will delve into these instruments. There are diverse techniques and instruments for gathering data about children. Some of these, such as photographs, videos, and field notes, have been previously discussed in our earlier modules. Additionally, tools are specifically designed to analyze children's engagement, well-being, and adult involvement. These instruments bolster educators' observations and enable them to delve deeply into specific moments of children's learning with focused scrutiny. They offer the advantage of unveiling teaching and learning processes in action while facilitating information collection and reflection on situated learning, benefiting both children and educators. They enable an analysis of learning process outcomes beyond merely highlighting children's innate playfulness. Focusing on children's well-being, we will explore the definition and how educators can document it. Well-being encompasses a child's capacity to feel at ease, happy, spontaneous, and free from emotional tension, and is crucial to secure mental health. Following this introduction, we will present a brief video. To help educators observe the children's well-being and involvement, a research team coordinated by Ferré-Louvres developed SIX, Zico. The instrument has been developed by a team based at the Research Centre for Experiential Education, Leuven University, Belgium, under the supervision of Dr. Ferré-Louvres. SIX is based on a conceptual framework developed during the last decades in the context of innovative work in preschool, primary, secondary, and higher education. Two quality indicators are central to this experiential approach: well-being and involvement. How do you observe the child's well-being? There are several indicators that you should observe in a child. Louvres, the author of this scale, says that there are 6 key indicators that we have to pay attention to. Children express their positive feelings in various ways. A. Enjoyment. The most obvious signal of well-being is enjoyment, having fun, and taking pleasure in interacting with others and in activities. The children's joy is palpable. They look happy, smile or laugh easily, and engage spontaneously in chatting or singing, creating a warm and happy atmosphere. B. Relaxing and inner peace. Children who feel good give a relaxed impression. They do not feel threatened in any way. Their facial expression is open, with no sign of tension or restlessness. Their muscles are relaxed. C. Vitality. Another signal of well-being is energy and vitality. This can often be read from children's faces. The look is lively and expressive. They radiate. Their posture also gives a lot away. Not shrunk or with hanging shoulders, but upright. Not afraid to take the space they are entitled to. D. Openness. When children feel okay, they have an open attitude towards the world around. They are ready to experience it and accept the attention they receive with comfort and security. They are also accessible, approachable to others. They are happy with the attention they receive. A hug, a compliment, a word of comfort and encouragement or help. E. Self-confidence. There are more chances for well-being to occur when one feels strong. Self-assurance, self-confidence, and a sense of self-value make one less anxious or stressed. This can be noticed in a posture expressing a particular pride, feeling big, like you can take on the world. That positive self-image is the foundation of resilience. Children then do not allow others to walk all over them, and they are assertive. F. Being in touch with oneself. When a child does not suppress feelings, but remains in touch with its emotions, it can not only enjoy, it will also recover more quickly from difficult experiences. Well-being indicates one is doing well emotionally and is feeling comfortable with oneself as a person. A low level of well-being signals that a child fails to fulfilling his/her basic needs. 1. Physical needs: need to eat, drink, move, sleep, etc. 2. The need for affection, warmth, and tenderness: being hugged, physical contact and vicinity, receiving and giving love and warmth. 3. The need for safety, clarity, and continuity: Need for a more or less predictable environment. Need to know where you stand, what is allowed and what is not allowed, and being able to count on others. 4. The need for recognition and affirmation. Feeling accepted and appreciated by others, meaning something to others, being part of a group and belonging. 5. The need to experience oneself as capable. Feeling that you can do something yourself, master something, experience how to push the limits of your capabilities, experience success. 6. The need for meaning and moral values. Feeling a good person and feeling connected with others in the world. Well-being is evaluated on a 1 to 5 point scale, considering the following signals. 1. Extremely low. The child clearly shows signals of discomfort. Whines, sobs, cries, screams, looks discouraged, sad or frightened, is in panic, is angry or furious, shows signs of feet, wriggles, throwing objects, hurting others, sucks its tomb, rubs its eyes, doesn't respond to the environment, avoids contact, withdraws, hurts him/herself, bangs its head, throws him/herself on the floor. 2 low. The posture, facial expression, and actions indicate that the child does not feel at ease. However, the signals are less explicit than under level 1, or the sense of discomfort is expressed only part of the time. 3 moderate. The child has a neutral posture. Facial expression and posture show little or no emotion. There are no signals indicating sadness or pleasure, comfort or discomfort. 4 high. The child shows obvious signs of satisfaction, as listed under level 5. However, these signals are constantly present at different intensity. 5 extremely high. During the observation episode, the child enjoys it, feels great. Kitties. It looks happy and cheerful, smiles, beams, and cries out of fun. Is spontaneous, expressive, and is really him/herself. Talks to itself, plays with sounds, hums, sings. Is relaxed and does not show any signs of stress or tension. Is open and accessible to the environment. Is lively, full of energy, radiates. Expresses self-confidence and self-assurance. For better understand the process, you can learn more in the 6 Zico manual. Please watch this video. After viewing each video, we invite you to rate it on a scale of 1 to 5, considering the well-being of the child depicted. Please note that a rating of 1 indicates little well-being, while a 5 indicates a high level of well-being. Additionally, we request that you justify your rating by identifying specific indicators or behaviors observed in the child. You can use the provided support file for video analysis. Key indicators enable educators to assess children's well-being, including pleasure, vitality, openness, self-confidence, self-awareness, relaxation, and inner peace. Bertram and Pascal, 2009. When a child experiences well-being in an educational context, they derive enjoyment from activities, interactions, and surroundings. They exhibit relaxation, inner peace, and vitality through lively engagement and confident self-expression. Such indicators are pivotal in gauging a child's overall emotional health and development within educational settings. As we proceed, we must recognize that nurturing children's well-being is fundamental to fostering their holistic development. Educators can effectively assess and promote children's well-being by employing instruments like 6 Zico, creating conducive learning environments supporting their emotional, social, and cognitive growth. Please watch this video. After viewing each video, we invite you to rate it on a scale of 1 to 5, considering the well-being of the child depicted. Please note that a rating of 1 indicates little well-being, while a 5 indicates a high level of well-being. Additionally, we request that you justify your rating by identifying specific indicators or behaviors observed in the child. You can use the provided support file for video analysis. Key indicators enable educators to assess children's well-being, including pleasure, vitality, openness, self-confidence, self-awareness, relaxation, and inner peace. Bertram and Pascal, 2009. When a child experiences well-being in an educational context, they derive enjoyment from activities, interactions, and surroundings. They exhibit relaxation, inner peace, and vitality through lively engagement and confident self-expression. Such indicators are pivotal in gauging a child's overall emotional health and development within educational settings. As we proceed, we must recognize that nurturing children's well-being is fundamental to fostering their holistic development. Educators can effectively assess and promote children's well-being by employing instruments like 6Zico, creating conducive learning environments supporting their emotional, social, and cognitive growth. Now compare what you have done with the kindergarten teacher's register. Try again in different situations to avoid subjectivation. Be sure you describe all the things that the children are doing. We are now trying to understand how child involvement can be documented. As mentioned earlier, well-being can also be closely linked with involvement. Involvement refers to the concentration and persistence in a specific activity or task. It is characterized by attraction and dedication to stimuli, along with the intensity of the experience, covering both physical and cognitive aspects. Moreover, it is marked by profound satisfaction and a vigorous energy flow. In the educational context, involvement denotes a child's deep engagement in activities and is essential for profound learning and development. As mentioned earlier, well-being can also be closely linked with involvement. Involvement refers to the concentration and persistence in a specific activity or task. It is characterized by attraction and dedication to stimuli, along with the intensity of the experience, covering both physical and cognitive aspects. Moreover, it is marked by profound satisfaction and a vigorous energy flow. In the educational context, involvement denotes a child's deep engagement in activities and is essential for profound learning and development. Lavers, 2005. Children with a high level of involvement are highly concentrated and absorbed by their activity. They show interest, motivation, and even fascination. That is why they tend to persevere. Children's involvement in learning is not just about their actions, but also about their intense mental activity. Their mimic and posture are indicators of this, showing that they are fully experiencing sensations and meanings. A strong sense of satisfaction results from the fulfillment of their exploratory drive. We know children operate at the very limits of their capabilities when there is involvement. Because of all these qualities, involvement is the condition that brings about deep-level learning. The source of involvement is the urge to discover or explore, experience the world, to use one's senses, to get a grip on reality. Initially, this getting a grip should be taken literally, touching and grabbing everything within range. Gradually, grasping means understanding and gets less concrete. At the limits of your capabilities, involvement is only possible when an activity challenges you, when it is not too easy or difficult. Children with a high level of involvement operate at the very limits of their capabilities. They fully address their skills. They give the best of themselves, whether they are babies or adults, children who are slow in their development, or highly gifted children. Why is involvement significant? Because, as Levers pointed out, when children are involved, we know that they address their capabilities and that they are developing. They learn at a deeper level. They become more competent. The levels include the indicators we mentioned earlier. In the lever 1, the involvement is extremely low, is registered when the child hardly shows any activity. No concentration, staring, daydreaming, an absent, passive attitude, no goal-oriented activity, aimless actions, not producing anything, no signs of exploration and interest, not taking anything in, no mental activity. The level 2, the child involvement is low. The child shows some degree of activity, but which is often interrupted. We observe limited concentration, looks away during the activity, fiddles, dreams. The child is easily distracted, and her action only leads to limited results. In the level 3, the involvement is moderate. The child is busy the whole time, but without real concentration. Routine actions, attention is superficial, is not absorbed in the activity. Activities are short-lived. Limited motivation, no real dedication, does not feel challenged. The child does not gain deep-level experiences, does not use her capabilities to full extent. The activity does not address the child's imagination. In the level 4, the involvement is high. There are clear signs of involvement, but these are not always present to their full extent. The child is engaged in the activity without interruption. Most of the time there is real concentration, but during some brief moments the attention is more superficial. The child feels challenged. There is a certain degree of motivation. The child's capabilities and its imagination to a certain extent are addressed in the activity. In the level 5, the involvement is extremely high. During the episode of observation, the child is continuously engaged in the activity and completely absorbed in it, is absolutely focused, concentrated without interruption, is highly motivated, feels strongly appealed by the activity, perseveres. Even strong stimuli cannot distract him. Is alert, has attention for details, shows precision. Its mental activity and experience are intense. The child constantly addresses all its capabilities. Imagination and mental capacity are in top gear. Obviously enjoys being engrossed in the activity. Please watch this video. After viewing the video, we ask you to rate each on a scale of 1 to 5, considering the child's involvement. Please note that 1 indicates low involvement, while 5 indicates high involvement. Additionally, we ask that you justify your response by identifying observable indicators behaviors in the child. Please download the support file for video analysis. As you likely deduced from the previous activity, various observable actions in children indicate whether they are involved. These include concentration, energy, complexity and creativity, facial expression and posture, persistence, precision, reaction time, language, and satisfaction. Regarding concentration, an involved child focuses on a specific aspect and seldom or never gets distracted, demonstrating a high concentration level. Furthermore, they exhibit a propensity to persist in the activity. Motivation is a prominent feature of this involvement as the child becomes fully absorbed in the task. One indicator of this state is that time passes quickly. Therefore, activities need to be tailored to the interests and needs of the children, both relatively easy and demanding. Bertrand and Pascal, 2009. A high level of child involvement in educational contexts is not just important, it's crucial. When it occurs, we know they are putting their abilities into practice and developing themselves. This leads to deep learning, making them more competent. Lovers, 2005. Your work in assessing and promoting child involvement is instrumental in their growth and success. Involvement is also related to intense mental activity. When we are involved, we are entirely open to experiences. Aspects such as bodily sensations and movements, colors, sounds, smells, and tastes have an amplitude and depth that otherwise do not exist. When a person is involved, they fully utilize their physical and mental capabilities. Conversely, sensations are not genuinely experienced when the opposite occurs and remain superficial. Child involvement is evident through the desire to discover, explore, experiment, use the senses, and seize reality. Involvement brings satisfaction, leading children to feel a surge of energy running through their bodies. If boredom is lessened when there is involvement, so is the feeling of emptiness and frustration. Play is the place par excellence where children can find this satisfaction. Lavers, 2005. The previously defined document, Lavers' 6 ZICO, also includes a scale of involvement. Like the well-being scale, involvement is measured from 1 to 5. It also involves observing a specific child for 2 minutes and analyzing that observation. The final phase, which consists of reflecting on actions to enhance the involvement of the child under study, is where your expertise and dedication come into play. Lovers, 2005.
Será que eu consigo?
Sim.
Vamos ver. Vamos ver se eu consigo.
Você.
Agora eu vou fazer maior.
Não passa, tá vendo? Passa muito esse gato.
A Maria deu. A Maria está ligando?
Meu! Olha!
Consegue? Boa! Agora eu vou tentar a minha. Agora eu vou conseguir? Essa é gigante. Agora eu vou tentar a minha. Eu acho que eu vou pôr aqui uma à frente para a bola não fugir. Acho que vou pôr aqui uma à frente. Se a bola já não vai fugir.
Ai, eu fugi. Põe aqui na frente.
Assim já não faz. Como é que a tua bola vai entrar?
Minha bola tá ficando. Não vai perder. Aqui passa.
Aí passa. Se calhar temos que fechar isso.
Eu vou puxar. A minha bola. A Michelle.
Senta lá, Taylor.
Não sai.
Não sai, não sai.
Mas não.
Olha, agora eu vou fazer a minha assim.
Eu vou deixar a minha. Vou deixar a minha. Vou deixar a minha.
Olha aí, deixou de eu acho que eu já fechaste. Eu vou fazer uma ponte.
E ela não sabe.
Vou fazer com mais uma ponte.
Mas
Vou marcar bolo. Deixa eu ver se eu marco bolo. Vai destruir tudo. Esta é da, né? É tu, olha o mundo que eu vou falar contigo. Vou fazer uma dele.
Now compare what you have done with the kindergarten teacher's register. Try again in different situations to avoid subjectivation. Be sure you describe all the things that the children are doing. Child participation has become a conscious goal for support services for children and young people. But there is still uncertainty regarding how this can be facilitated, including children's views and opportunities for active participation in matters that concern them. These represent crucial principles and explicit work goals for support services and fields of practice related to children and young people. From a human rights perspective, child involvement is justified by Article 12 of the Convention on the Rights of the Child, United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, which advocates for children to promote their interests and views. The right to participation must also be viewed in the context of Article 3 of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, which considers the child's best interests. Child participation can be seen as a natural consequence of safeguarding children's interests. Researchers who work with children and young people have established that adults who do not always know what children know, understand, or experience may have different understandings of children's needs and subjective. This means that interventions and the implementation of research also require the children's perspectives. Therefore, children are increasingly regarded as key stakeholders, with the right to contribute to discussions about how various services are made available to them. How can we define children's participation? Participation is a continuous process, not limited to a single moment, person, or situation. Children's participation is a right enshrined in the Convention on the Rights of the Child, explicitly outlined in Articles 12 and 13. It refers to the child's direct and indirect involvement in actions and/or decision-making processes regarding matters that concern them or that somehow affect their lives. Children's decisions and opinions need to influence and shape processes and outcomes to recognize their role. Cuevas Para, 2017. In this regard, Laura Lundy developed a model of children's participation organized into 4 dimensions: space, voice, audience, and influence. According to this author, for children's participation to exist, space needs to be carefully considered, both physical and social. The educational context should be an inclusive place where all children are encouraged to express their views and opinions and access material spaces. It should be a safe and child-friendly environment, a space of well-being, joy and pleasure open to children's plural interests and experiences. Interactions therein, whether between children, adults, or children themselves, should be positive. Children attending quality environments have more opportunities to participate. In addition to space, it is essential to consider voice, i.e., facilitating children's expression and opinions, which should always be voluntary and free. Ensuring voice means that adults should consider how to make the child's expression visible, considering their backgrounds and capabilities. When we talk about voice, we refer not only to oral expression, but also to its multiple forms: oral, written, or printed, through art forms, and any other method or strategy the child selects, freely and voluntarily. It is also essential to consider the child's silence as a non-verbal expression. This expression is not compromised by the child's level of maturity, meaning that all children of all ages should be invited to participate. Audience refers to someone listening to the child's opinions, whether adults, other children, or both. Talking about the audience also includes making children aware of who their opinions are being conveyed to. Children should be able to communicate their views to individuals or bodies responsible for decision-making. These listeners can be diverse, including other children, early childhood educators, education assistants, parents, educational institution leaders, mayors, and presidents. According to the same model, children's participation also involves influence. It is not enough to listen to their opinions. They should also be considered in decision-making moments. Whether adults or other children, they go beyond mere listening and are open to being influenced by the children. It is necessary to consider some aspects when considering children's opinions, such as their age, maturity, safety, well-being, and interests. This does not mean that all children's opinions should be implemented, but children should be informed why they were not considered. An instrument to observe children's participation is currently being developed by the CEB's team, under the leadership of Cristiana Ribeiro. This process involves extensive research, consultation with experts, and testing to ensure its effectiveness and relevance. Why is this instrument relevant? Because it can support and inform practices that promote children's participation in educational contexts, and support early childhood educators in observing children and subsequently engaging in critical reflection on their practice. While it emphasizes children's participation and experiences, it goes beyond assessing children's competencies and instead aligns with educational practices that foster children's participation. Observations are individual and focus on all moments of everyday life in kindergarten. Observe 50% of the group up to a maximum of 12 children, varying gender, ethnicity, etc. Each child is observed 4 times, twice in the morning and twice in the afternoon, on different days. Observe 2 children per period.
This instrument is organized into 4 dimensions: space, voice, audience, and influence. Each indicator should be scored on a scale of 0 to 4, taking into account the number of observed indicators. To do this, pay attention to the information provided in parentheses. 0. No indicators were observed. 1 to 3 indicators were observed. 2, 4 to 6 indicators were observed. 3, 7 to 9 indicators were observed. 4, all 10 indicators were observed. After scoring the indicators for each dimension, reflect on the obtained score.
This instrument is organized into 4 dimensions: space, voice, audience, and influence. Each indicator should be scored on a scale of 0 to 4, taking into account the number of observed indicators. To do this, pay attention to the information provided in parentheses. 0. No indicators were observed. 1 to 3 indicators were observed. 2, 4 to 6 indicators were observed. 3, 7 to 9 indicators were observed. 4, all 10 indicators were observed. After scoring the indicators for each dimension, reflect on the obtained score. You can learn more about child participation using the self-assessment tool for professionals. Promoting children's participation rights in early childhood education and care, developed under the Participa project. Click in the image to access to the website. Use the self-assessment tool for professionals to see the guarantee of children participation.
Auch eine Kugel?
Ich mache ein Eis.
Ist es eigentlich leicht, eine Kugel zu machen? Dass sie wirklich keine Ecken hat, dass sie ganz rund ist?
Ich mache jetzt ein Eis.
Schau. Oh, was ist aus deiner Kugel?
Ein dicker Wurm.
Ein dicker Wurm ist aus deiner Kugel geworden.
Das schmeckt gut.
Ein Eis hast du. Welches Eis ist das?
Vanille.
Vanille. Ist das dein Lieblingseis?
Nein.
Was ist denn deine Lieblingssorte?
Schoko.
Schoko.
Kannst du
Und dann
mir
hast du gar
halten?
kein Schokoeis gemacht, wenn du das so gern magst. Ich soll das kurz halten.
Das gibt's nicht.
Aber ich kann dir nicht garantieren, dass du ein Eis dann zurückbekommst, wenn du mir das in die Hand drückst. Ich esse gerne Eis.
Das darfst du essen.
Das darf ich essen? Ach so, na danke schön.
Hier noch ein Eis.
Noch ein Eis, danke schön, Elvira. Da gibt es voll leckeres Eis bei mir.
Kannst du das einmal halten? Weil ich muss dann noch eine Kugel machen.
Jetzt habe ich aber bald keine Hände mehr dran. Noch eine Kugel machst du?
Ja.
Try again with this video. Then, try to reflect on your practice. Use the self-assessment tool to reflect on your practice. Be objective. You can do that with other colleagues.
Hat euer Cello auch eine Erkältung?
Ja,
Ich sehe, der Hals ist ganz rot vom Cello.
ja. Und er hat noch seine Stimme verloren, weil er immer so laut bellt.
Weil er immer so laut bellt.
Oma kommt,
Wenn die Oma, wieso bellt er, wenn die Oma kommt?
weil er sie so gerne hat.
Ah,
Bellt sie halt gleich voll laut an.
er bellt, weil er sie so gerne hat und sich so freut auf die Oma.
Aber dann am Schluss, wenn sie fahren will, tretet er sie einfach von der Stiege fast runter.
Das musst du mir jetzt noch einmal bitte erklären.
Der Bello, wenn die
Kommt ein bisschen
Oma
auf die Seite.
dann wieder fährt, dann tretet er sie von der Stiege runter.
Go to section 2 of module 4. Thank you for participating.